So with the new Trump administration, there's a lot of talk about immigration and the border and should we deport all of the Mexicans and South Americans and I guess Puerto Ricans because they've also been getting attacked. So deport them to not the United States, even though Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Anyway, we have a couple of yahoos here who I am told in the Discord server where this was suggested are Andrew Tate fans. Our good friend Andrew Tate, who is definitely not guilty of human trafficking or subjecting minors to sexual misconduct. Anyway, this was recommended in the Discord server. If you'd like to recommend videos, you can hop into my Discord server. I always leave a link in the description. Dubsy likes to put one on the screen for you, a barcode that you can, or what is it called? A QR code, sorry, that you can scan with your phone to get into the server. And you can leave your suggestions for me there. Anyway, are all illegal aliens equal? First of all, the language is a dead giveaway. Illegal aliens is typically used, it might be used like colloquially by people who don't mean bad, but in the context of politically activated individuals online, like these two guys, they're probably using this to be derogatory toward undocumented immigrants. So, and that is the proper terminology, by the way, in case you didn't know, undocumented immigrants. So what the person also in the Discord server told me is that they basically say that all illegal aliens are in fact equal and should be deported. Now, I think that's very silly. A lot of our economy is based on undocumented immigrants and the work that they do. You know, if we were to deport them all tomorrow, it would result in economic turmoil for the United States. And also, they're just regular ass people trying to live their best lives. So let's take a look at what they have to say about it.
When we say that we voted for a closed border
that
system,
there'll be good opinions.
that's what we wanted.
That's what it was supposed to be. That's what we all thought.
Yeah, that's what I voted for.
We voted for mass deportations. There's no mass deportation, by the way.
Well, yes, you're not wrong. They're getting rid of the
Why do you
the
want mass
most egregious
deportation?
individuals.
I would love to know, okay, if anybody who disagrees with me in the comments could please write why you think mass deportation is good. How does that benefit you? What do you think will improve in your life if we decide to deport all of the undocumented immigrants? I'd love to know.
They're not. 52% of people that have been arrested are not criminal offenders.
And some of them are like really cute.
They are going after just whatever they can consider.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're a criminal offender or not. Their narrative is that they're getting all these criminals. 52% of people that they've arrested with these mass raids and these ICE raids
Have no criminal record.
have no criminal record.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then who are we going after? How are we choosing?
Maybe they're just collateral damage, dude.
That's crazy, man. Right? Like, wow, you're telling me that the overwhelming majority of people they've arrested have no criminal record and we should actually just leave them the f alone? That's wild. Hey, guess what? Statistics show that undocumented immigrants are way less likely to commit crimes than both documented immigrants and citizens of the United States. Guess why? Because they don't want to be deported. If you are an undocumented immigrant and you commit a crime and you get arrested, you are putting yourself at a higher risk of being deported. You know what I say? Deport all the natural citizens. I include myself in that. Just deport me. I'm done with this country anyway.
And they're picking up, I think, like average of 300 to 400 people a day, which is nothing.
Can I correct the record?
It's not any. He's not arresting any more than Biden was at the end of his term.
Only
So
the
let me correct
undocumented immigrants
We are
remain.
both correct when we say they don't have a criminal record.
Mm.
But they are illegal, so
Correct.
they've broken the law. So some would say,
Okay.
you don't have a criminal record, fair enough. You've been here for 8 years, fair enough. However, you still had 8 years to register and become legal, and you didn't.
Well, a lot of people.
That's begging the question. Why should we deport undocumented immigrants? Because they're lawbreakers. Like, that doesn't answer the question.
Once you start the process
Maybe
is
it's a bad
so
law.
long and so slow that even if they started the process 10 years ago, they could have made zero progress.
Fair enough. But
So let me ask you one question. Is there a
True.
difference in an illegal alien that just ran across the border in a caravan in the last year with no job, just takes money, versus an illegal alien that's been here 50
I have never heard of an undocumented immigrant coming here from across the Rio Grande and just doing nothing. Like, I used to work at a movie theater. It was a movie theater / bar and grill, you know, one of those deals where you sit at your seat and you press a button and a server comes to you. It was really neat. I liked it a lot. Owners were dickwads, but the place is shut down now thanks to COVID, so they can suck my dick. Anyway, I used to work there, and in the kitchen, there were, I believe, I don't want to be racist, but I believe they were undocumented immigrants from South America. And they were the hardest fucking workers there. Like, undocumented immigrants are some of the hardest workers in the entire goddamn country, and they get paid shit wages. I've never heard of somebody coming across the border to, like, quote unquote leech off the system. If anything, they're giving way more than they're taking, because one thing, they do menial labor for way less pay than they deserve, and for another thing, they actually pay taxes, and they don't even get to vote. It's taxation without representation. That's the literal definition. And I agree, by the way, this is one part that I agree with most conservatives on, is that we should have an accounting of who is in our country. I agree with that. I think it's important to know who's here, why they're here. Well, not necessarily why they're here. That's not your business, but who's here, right? And get a history on them, you know, like just have a general idea of your population. That's a good thing. Okay. But you're going to be way more likely to have that if you don't make it a scary and horrifically agonizing process to attain legal citizenship. You know, I've got a friend from Canada who can't even come here. North of the border. Can't come here. Like, it's too hard to immigrate, you know? It's ridiculous.
This is an illegal alien that's been here 15 years, has a job, and actually pays taxes. Is there a difference?
Yes.
But
I want to stress again, this is a nonsense scenario. There really is this mythical undocumented immigrant that comes over the border to leech off our system. It's just that. It's a myth.
To ICE, as we stand right now, there's no difference, because 52% of those people are the latter.
Yes.
And we have almost zero history of catching any of these people that came in the caravans in the last 3 years. So we're targeting the people that are here illegally, but are contributing to society. Some have criminal records. They need to go. 52.
I'm kind of jiving with the guy on the left. I don't agree with everything that he's saying or his wording, but I feel like we can agree on some stuff, but we'll see.
2% of them have no criminal record, and they literally work and pay into the system. And they pay into the system, and because they're illegal, they don't get to take from the system.
Yep. Taxation without representation.
Are they the same? Because if one argues, no, they're here illegally, illegal is illegal, I don't care, then I understand, doesn't matter, just take them all.
Yeah.
If you're in the camp, well, no, there's actually a difference between the two, then why are you going after the people that have been here for a long time paying their taxes?
Fair enough. So it's, yeah.
Agreed.
So,
good point.
Which is not easy. It's actually a really controversial topic.
It is a controversial topic, and I'm just going to pin you to the wall. What do you? What's your stance? I'll give you.
I feel like this is easy.
The simple answer is
They say it's complicated. I say it's not. Just make it easier to immigrate. Make the process easier. Just make it easier. It's not hard.
it's going to sound terse, as if you're illegal. You're illegal. Like, you cannot claim ignorance. Dude,
nobody's illegal.
You cannot claim ignorance. If you can't say, well, Peter, the application process takes 5 to 10 years. Then you should have started 10 years ago.
But
what is this guy's stance on making it easier and shorter? More people would do it if it took less time. I guarantee you this guy doesn't even know the system, the process. I don't know the process. I have no idea what that entails. It takes 5 years at least. I have to imagine it's beyond complicated. I have no idea what goes into that. Make it easier. Unless this guy can sit here and explain the process of immigration and why it takes 5 years, if he can give me a good, solid reason for that, then you know what? I'll bite. But if he can't give me one, I guarantee it. He has no idea how it works.
a lot have.
I don't give a f. If you can't come to me with
Then
with knowledge of the process, and you still didn't do it,
that you definitely
then
have.
You're even worse off. You had years to do this. And so it might sound terse. It might sound, Peter, you're not being loving. You're not being...
No, this isn't about being loving. This is about being practical. This is practical, okay? You get to sit here as a citizen. I don't know if he's an immigrant or not, but I assume that I'm going to assume that he was born here, okay? Because most people who are here were born here. So given that, like, you're speaking from a very privileged position, my friend. Like, you didn't have to go through any of these processes or jump through any of these hoops. You know, you didn't have to take a citizenship test. Hell, I've never had to take one either. I might fail it. But yet, we force people coming in to take that same test. And that's just one example of the shit they got to go through. We force people to take the same test that most of our citizens can't even pass. That's ridiculous. Make it easier to come in.
You have broken the law. if you had time to
Runaway slaves also broke the law. Returned them to their slavers, right, buddy? Right, buddy?
rectify that,
I'm sure he'd agree with that.
let bygones be bygones. Water under the bridge. You were here. It took you 3 years to finally establish yourself. Good on
Well, now I know that it takes, 10 years minimum to build up enough of our feeble income that we provide to our slaves here on the farm in order to even consider being able to buy their freedom. And then after that, they have nowhere to go, nobody to talk to, or people to help them establish a livelihood or any kind of life outside of homelessness and poverty. But I say they're breaking the law by running away, I do. They need to do this by the books. I pay them 7 cents on the hour. It costs $10,000 to buy their freedom, and they should pay it. That's the law. Right, buddy?
on you, mate. Then you realized it was going to take you 5 to 10
Sounds
years
great,
to
right?
become legal, and you said, you know what, I want to do it the right thing. So you started 7 years ago, and then you completed the process. Good on you, mate. You did the right thing. But if you know what the process is, and you know your current status as being illegal, which means that there's the potential risk, you've exposed yourself to risk, that you could be found out by ICE or ratted on by your Karen neighbor.
This is such a dense argument. You need to explain the purpose of this ridiculous system, or else you have no legs to stand on. You need to explain yourself. Why do you think this system is okay? Make it
That
easy.
your life could be changed. You have chosen daily to make the cognitive decision that you will not do the right thing, even though you know it's the right thing to do.
Why is it the right
So,
thing? Because it's the law?
I say, illegal is as illegal does. If you're illegal, sorry you got caught up in the fray. Sorry that for that lady who was on the news who looks like
He's so
she's 300
stupid.
pounds and saying, "Oh, they're gonna take my. I've been here for like 15." Like, bitch, you had 15 years.
What? Dude, why are we like... he's just painting a
I have no
caricature of
sympathy
like
for you.
If
a
No
person
sympathy
who
for you.
doesn't exist.
if we go with the official number, which is there are 12 million illegal immigrants in this country, and if you go to the
little
Trump number,
ableism
which
for
says
flavor.
there are 30 million,
I think he's probably closer to the truth, though.
I think
I don't
it's
care how
lower.
many.
If it is anywhere in
The
between,
more the merrier.
but we will only remove approximately one.
Guess what? The more illegal immigrants there are, the less crime there is per capita. That is literally statistically factual.
1 to 1.5 million people in the next 4 years.
Then we have done nothing.
Well, we're not going to do anything. But if that's the number that's the goal to hit. 1.5 million people over 4 years. Because that's like the realistic number at this point.
No.
Then shouldn't we focus on the criminals and the people that are negative to society, and maybe allow the people that have shown that they're contributing to society by actually
course.
taking the jobs that no one wants to do?
Of course.
They are working the agricultural jobs in middle America that nobody wants to
Sure.
do.
Here's my opinion. Assuming you don't change anything about the laws, just say that the law's the law, whatever. Even in this case, even if I were to agree that the law's fine and it should be this difficult to immigrate, which is stupid, but whatever. Even ceding that point, the most practical thing you can do is go after the criminals that actually commit crime, right? Like, I don't think anybody would disagree with me, but the fact that ICE is investigating people who literally haven't done anything wrong except be here illegally is stupid. It's a waste of resources and time and money. Why are you investigating people who literally have done nothing wrong except be here? That's idiotic to me.
They're taking
It's
up
not
the
practical.
dishwashing jobs that are having a really hard time filling.
Sure.
They're taking the jobs
True.
that here in Georgia, they're taking the chicken farm jobs, feeding the chickens,
Construction jobs, yeah.
construction jobs. These are jobs that if you didn't have them,
Even just
service
practically
jobs, like
speaking, it
maids,
makes
yeah.
sense to
yeah,
keep
if you
them
didn't
there.
have those people filling those jobs, there's a huge gap in society. And those people are paying taxes into the system and taking very little benefit out.
Agreed.
My argument is that possibly we should focus on the criminals, and if there's room and capacity, deal with them less.
If there's wait, but why? You've already established. Here's where it falls apart. We've already established that they are giving more to us than they're taking. So why deal with them at all, quote unquote? Why not just let them stay here? Just legalize them. You've already said it yourself. They're a positive force in our country. So why deal with them? What's to deal with? Let them stay.
Agree with you. We should always focus on the bad of society to remove them from society. Peaceful stop. However, if you have chosen cognitively day after day to choose the wrong thing and you become collateral damage, sorry, Sar, I have very little sympathy for you. You
Like
chose to
the
live a
like the
life
runaway
of sin.
slaves did.
Let's go to the Christian word.
Every day that a runaway slave is away from the plantation they ran away from, they're making the cognitive decision to break the law. Well, it's on them if they get killed.
Words. You've chosen every single day to live a life that is not a life of integrity.
Hold on, did he say
A life
Christian
of
words?
sin. Let's go to the Christian.
A life of sin? You think that the law ascribes morality? He does think the law ascribes morality. He would be a person who said that slavery was a moral good when it was legal. That's what he's saying. This person, if you and he would disagree with this to your face, but this literally is what his logic is. If slavery were legal, that would be morally the right thing to do. Is if you're a slave, is to stay a slave, and slave owners are within their moral rights to keep you a slave. That's the argument. Okay. The Christian thing to do, if you're abiding by the words of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, is to accept your fellow man, I guess, without judgment, right? Accept people into your home and help them. That's the Christian thing to do, in my opinion. But no, I guess we're speaking on an Old Testament level or something.
Words. You've chosen every single day
The one where God kills people and that's moral.
live a life that is not a life of integrity. What does integrity mean? Internal and external consistency.
I'd love
What
to
you
get this
say
guy
you
on
are
for a chat.
Is what you do. What you promise you say you're going to do,
I
you
want to
do.
pick his brain.
That is internal integrity. And so for me, I don't disagree with anything you've said. Focus on the baddies. Get rid of the baddies. But if you're caught up in the collateral damage of collecting the baddies, I have very little sympathy for you. I mean, I lived in Japan, I lived in Korea, I lived in India. Whenever I would live in these other countries, I didn't want to assimilate myself quickly, but I made sure that I was a good American. I represented America well. I was respectful. I
don't
respected
care.
the cultures. I respected the traditions. And when I was in Korea, for example, I went and got my Korean driver's license so that I could ride my motorcycle.
Great.
Right? I could drive
Good for
drive
you're
cars there.
so
He's a
good.
little Chinese
Good for
food, by the
you.
way.
You did such a good job. You're such a good boy.
That's true. I look
Pats you
cute
gently on
that
head.
bike. Anyway, the point is I did all the requisite requirements so that I could live freely and effectively.
What's this guy's
as
name? I want to know his name so that I can directly insult him. Matt Kim? No, Matt Kim is the main guy. I have no idea. Whatever.
a productive
We'll just
member
call
of
him dumbass.
South Korea society when I lived there, just as an example. So was it painful for me to get my license in the beginning when my Korean sucked ass and they didn't have updated American documents? Yes. Was it frustrating to try to figure out how to get it all done? Yes. But I did the right things, Matt. And I will always live by doing the right thing. And so
If this guy if he's so concerned with people doing the right thing and going through the proper process, I challenge you, whatever your name is, I challenge you. Try the immigration process for yourself. Go try it. Go see what it takes to immigrate to America from south of the border. Go see what it takes. I would love to know the results.
you might say,
Then you
Peter,
can talk to me
you don't
about
understand the context.
doing the right thing.
This illegal been here 12 years and they got 3 boys and they're all like, I don't care. You have lack of integrity.
you.
Internal
Disgusting.
consistency is lacking. Collateral
Absolutely
damage is part of the
disgusting.
risk exposure.
I don't care. We can separate children from their families. Yeah, that's fine. Their parents broke the law after all by being here. It's not like they, committed any crimes at all. And it's not like they're literally benefiting our society more than they're taking from it by paying taxes without even being able to vote and working menial labor for under minimum wage, paycheck to paycheck, just barely scraping by to put food on the table for their children. But yeah, let's put those children in the up foster care system and ship their asses back to Mexico. Who cares, right? You, man.
Exposure that you've
Suck my dick.
chosen. You probably
Disgusting
haven't ever
piece
used
of
those
shit.
words before, but you created a risk exposure for yourself, and now you're paying the piper.
Okay, let me throw another premise out there. for you.
Disgusting.
You said that if you are arresting people that have done crime, and as part of that, you get caught up as collateral damage.
Yeah.
It's fair. Okay, I can accept and understand that premise. But
Guy
there's
acts
also
like he's never gotten a
situations
speeding
because
ticket.
they're not hitting the numbers that they're supposed to hit, that they go after businesses that historically hire a lot of illegal immigrants,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just taking out the workforce.
Good.
they are not the same
No.
as collateral damage. This is
Not
targeted
good.
damage.
Fine, good.
Yes.
Do it.
Why
That's
is this
okay.
guy spitting?
Do it. Do it.
I wish he would push back more, but given what we're working with here, I can at least, the guy on the left, he does have a name. What is it? Matt Kim. Matt over here is speaking truth to power. You know, I wish he would push back more, but, you know, I'll take any voice of reason I can get when this dipshit is here.
Hole will be filled. If we truly live in a capitalist economy where opportunities
Go
are
fill
right,
your own hole.
then those who are the sophisticated will see, ooh, my competitors just got taken out by a random phone call because 80% of his workforce are illegals. Smart deal. There's now a void in that market. The right sophisticated entrepreneur and operator
so
will
smart.
look at that and say,
He's
excellent opportunity
he's
for
the
expansion.
economy understander, this guy.
I have a very low empathy threshold for these types of conversations. I think you've seen my video, how I've been affected by illegals. Like my family, it just for short story, my family with video was almost killed by an illegal immigrant in a brand new GLA 250
I have very little
who
empathy
T-boned
for
us
you.
on
I
Buford
don't
Highway.
care.
Like that radicalized me. That was the radicalization. What
That's called an emotional reaction. You are a baby. Your brain is infantile. Have you ever progressed past the first Erickson stage? No, you haven't. Okay? You haven't. So suck my dick, man. Like you're literally a baby brain. Well, this bad thing happened to me, and the person that happened to be the person committing it was an illegal immigrant. So that made me realize that actually nothing should change, and we should deport anybody who's here illegally, even if they literally benefit our society, because I have no moral compass. I literally just go off of my fifis. You're a baby, man.
when I talked to that police officer with receipts,
Literal baby
you
man.
can see the video online. The police officer was like,
I don't
we can't
care.
do shit. I cannot believe this. My life was almost ended.
I hope it happens
because of this.
again.
And we're gonna just let them roll. I'm done with that shit, man. I'm done with that shit. If you're illegal, get out of here. Right? Get out of here. Am I wrong in that?
I mean, I think
This is my
arguments are
opinion.
had. Yeah, I think arguments are had for all sides because
Okay, well, when I was in college, I rear-ended somebody because I was on my phone. Should I be deported? Same thing. It's the same thing. I was at fault for running a red light the day after an exam, or the day of an exam, because I got no sleep the night before, and somebody T-boned me, and somebody could have gotten hurt. Thankfully, nobody did. Should I be deported? I'm just wondering. If he says yes, at least he's consistent. Like, if you want to deport people who are at fault for car accidents, then by all means. But this is strict. You're basing your argument strictly on their immigration status. Any mother could have hit you. They just happened to be an undocumented immigrant, and that's why you hate them. Baby brain.
the only problem that I have is that
Actual
if you
infant.
allow the targeting of certain businesses to remove their workforce, it can be easily weaponized.
It will be weaponized, Matt.
And it's always the same people that benefit from the weaponization of government. We're just giving the people that have too much power more power. We're giving the tech oligarchs or the business oligarchs that already have so much power more power. And if it means that by fighting against that, even though that I may agree with some of their methods, I would rather take them down than the few illegal immigrants that work in a factory somewhere that aren't hurting anybody. They don't affect me.
He's a regular
These guys
ass.
affect me.
I don't hate him. Like I said, I wish he'd push back harder. I don't hate him. He is like, he just seems like your griller, you know, like your average griller. So I mean, if he is an Andrew Tate simp, then you know that's kind of cringe. But in this context, I don't hate this guy.
I see your argument, but I would ask you, Matt, to not conjecture a thesis in the future. You don't know
What?
if they're going to truly benefit.
What does that mean?
Is there a high chance that they will? That the that the tech oligarchs and the
52% of
Walmarts
the
are going to
people-
consume? Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, if 52% of the people that are non-criminals are the ones being arrested and they are targeting certain businesses to help take their workforce, I'm like, how did they get the call to go after that business when there's so many businesses?
Because it's what you're right. Because it's been
Who
weaponized.
chose that? Who decided that competitor of this guy is who we're going to take out?
I'll give you the
Your
answer.
point.
It goes like this.
I bet you it's a donor.
I'll give you is something aligned to this. The scenario looks like this.
Okay.
I'm deeply political, Matt. I'm deeply political, and I like this Trump guy. And I like what they're doing with his illegal immigration. I own a Lowe's. And you know what? I know that my competitor, the Home Depot just down the street, is employing 60 to 80% illegals. I have a guy that's connected to a guy that's connected to another guy in ICE.
This doesn't happen. This is more baby brain shit. This is not how competition works. Okay? Big companies are not cutthroat going after each other like this. They're consolidated, okay? They're the owner class. They don't do this because they're all breaking the law, all of them, all the time, okay? So even if this were how it worked, by the way, like I don't care. We've already established here that they're benefiting our society more than they're taking away from it by far. What's wrong with just letting them stay here? That's what I want to know from this guy. What's wrong with just letting them stay here? Because his only answer was, well, they broke the law. Okay, maybe it's a stupid law. I might actually try to find this guy and see if he wants to come on for a conversation about it, because he seems about as dense as a fucking bowl of pudding.
And he's my good buddy, Jim. He works at the sheriff's department. Let me just have a lunch with Jim. And I have a lunch with Jim. And he tells me, yeah, man, I know a guy. What do you got? And I say, well, I can't be attached to this, but man, you know I work at Lowe's. My competitor's over at Home Depot. Can you put in a good word?
So stupid.
That's all. Can you put in a good word? That's how it happens. And you might say, well, Peter, you just opened up the door for weaponization. Yes, it's going to happen. And that business, and I am going to benefit
will
greatly
collapse
from the destruction of my competitor, the Home Depot, just down the road. But guess what? Guess what, Matt?
He's so stupid.
That void will be filled.
And I am
Go
so
fill your own
sick
void
of the weaponization of government and government agencies to go after targets and people, because everyone was so mad. Oh, you know, the government, they weaponized the government to go after Trump, and it's not fair. Okay, then you need to stop the process. You need to stop the process, not use it also.
Yes.
Because all you're doing is creating this cycle.
I think this is
you
silly,
do it to me, I do it to you. You do it to me, I do it to you. In the crossfire, we the people are the ones that get stuck.
He is, though, at least consistent in this one regard, because, like, if Trumpers were consistent about, like, government interference, they wouldn't want the government deporting people. They wouldn't want that. They're okay. Most of them are okay with government interference when it comes to ICE and deporting people, you know? Like, I can at least respect a conservative who's consistently, like, government is hands-off, you know? Usually they come in the form of libertarians, and I still highly disagree with most of their opinions, but... You know, like, this guy at least seems like he's trying to be consistent. I can respect that.
In the crossfire, they get harmed in the crossfire, that lose our money in the crossfire, that lose our health, that lose our societies, lose our communities in the crossfire. We're stuck in their war. And at some point, someone needs to stop that shit. Because if your response to the weaponization of government to you is to weaponize the government against them, then as soon as there's opportunity, they will do it back. And you will do it again. And you will do it back. And it's just corruption. Every time you attack the other side, the methods get stronger and bigger and more corrupt.
Yes, you're not wrong.
Meaning we're building
I don't
corruption.
care about this.
And by us saying, no, well, they did it to us, so we should do it too. By us doing that, it's just making it exponentially worse every single time.
And we're no better.
No better.
Yeah.
At some point, the cycle has to stop. If the cycle doesn't stop, then we will forever... We're on the brink of collapse of society because there is no way that model is sustainable. Thanks for watching the clip.
God, that was awful. I can't believe how much I ended up hating that guy on the right. That was a very good suggestion. I might actually find out who that guy was and see if he wants to have a little discussion. I'd love to pick his brain. It feels like it would be really easy to dissect his worldview. Just a horrific piece of shit. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.